If I told you I'd give you $1 million to stick to your plan, or I'd take away your home if you didn't, how easy would it be to stick to your plan? Pretty easy, right? The decision would be made, and you would be able to override any cravings and mental drama around it most of the time, right? So, what's the point of this thought experiment? To show you that it can be really easy to make a decision and commit to it when your reason for doing so is more compelling than the cravings and the emotions that you feel, right? On this journey, you will likely encounter motivation along the way, but it's commitment that will help keep you on your path even when you don't feel like it. So, have you ever considered the difference between commitment and motivation? How are those two things different in your body? And how is it different when you're committed to doing something versus motivated to do it, right? How do the road bumps and the temptations and the mind drama make a difference with each of them? To get to the point where you can find your commitment versus motivation, I want you to write down several reasons of why you want to do this in the first place. Once you've got that, take a look at whether you believe any of these reasons are compelling enough for you to stick to your plan. And you may need multiple reasons. I often encourage people to come up with up to 30 different reasons that you want to have a goal so that you can have a different reason why for every hour of the day and then some if you need, right? So look at your reasons. Are there any that are compelling enough that you are willing to deal with your emotions without using food? Are any of them solid enough that you're willing to feel the discomfort of urges in your body without acting on them? If not, think harder and dig deeper if it's not an instant yes, right? So let's get real for a moment. Even with the most ironclad reason why, you will still encounter obstacles in your daily life that will try to trip you up. So, how do you deal with that? Plan for them to be there. Plan for them. So often we start out on a journey to change how we're eating, change how we're moving, change our bodies without planning for the worst moments. We kind of just put on a happy face and think that if we believe hard enough or if we just criticize ourselves enough along the way, that we'll stick to our plan. But how has that worked out for you so far? Another thing that probably hasn't been working out for you is your belief in yourself, right? If you only draw from your past and if you only look at your failed attempts or the ways that didn't last, you probably have some doubts that this time will be any different for you. Now, I hope I'm not the first to offer this to you, but you have permission to believe in yourself this time, no matter what has happened in the past. And it is okay to draw from your future to find your belief in yourself. In fact, it may be the only way to make it last because in the past, you only have evidence of it not lasting. But you can look to your future and find, okay, this is how I made it last once and for all. So sink into your body. I want you to imagine the version of you that has already made it through this, that has lost the weight and kept it off, that feels great. What decisions did you make along the way to get you to that point? And what did you make the obstacles mean? What mattered the most? And as you imagine your future self, imagine what it will feel like to be successful. What emotions do you have? What are you feeling as you meet your goal? Maybe you're proud of yourself. Maybe you're relieved. Maybe you're excited. Now, just notice that you were able to feel those emotions right now. And you can and should draw on those same emotions throughout your journey and practice feeling them before you get to your goal. Because as you go along, you'll encounter obstacles and doubts, and it'll be a heck of a lot easier to keep going if you plan that those will be there and you draw on those emotions that you need to be successful. And as another issue that might come up, if you don't start practicing those emotions as you go through your journey, you're going to end up looking at the scale and getting worried about keeping that weight there, right? About not gaining it back, about, oh my gosh, I hope I don't mess this up, right? So I want you to start planning that obstacles and doubts will be there, and also planning what you can do for each of them that will help you in the moment so your impulse brain isn't the one making decisions. So take some time and make a list of all the things that you can think of that will trip you up most likely. And for each of those things, come up with at least one strategy, if not multiple strategies that you can use to stay on plan. So, for example, let's say you're doubting whether you'll stick to your movement plan. What are some strategies you can use? So, first, I want to give yourself options. Make a plan for the days where you're just way more exhausted than planned, right? What's a low impact option? And maybe it's just going for a walk around the block or going up and down the stairs a few times if it's raining out, right? You want to reconnect with your reason why. So why do you want to stick with your plan? Why is it important for you to at least go around the block or do the stairs? Why is that important? I want you to draw from your future self, like we just talked about, that did stick to your plan. What was future self thinking in order to stay committed? All right, another example. Let's say that you have strong urges when you pass the bakery section at the grocery store. You just really want to buy those cookies with the frosting, or you know how amazing those donuts are and you just want to eat all of them. So, what can you do about this one? You can start maybe by making a grocery list and buying only what's on the list. You can also try taking a different route through the store to avoid that section. All right, those are great, but those require you to use willpower. Okay, so how do we take willpower out of it? Maybe using curbside pickup or grocery delivery so you didn't have to even enter the store and you're not tempted by anything, let alone the bakery section. That may be a good option, but it also just teaches you to avoid the trigger. So you're not actually learning how to control yourself in the process. So you still have to worry about if you do go into a grocery store, you're still going to encounter that and you haven't taught yourself how to deal with that trigger. So, wouldn't it be better long term if you figured out how to take control of the urge itself? Yes, it is possible. Yes, it is possible for you to do. Be sure to check out the video about dealing with urges, where I will cover exactly what steps you need to take in order to take back control of yourself when you have an urge.